Kiran Bedi's path has been one of defying boundaries and rewriting narratives. She's tackled corruption with an iron fist, pioneered community policing with a compassionate heart, and ignited a spark of hope in countless lives with her unwavering dedication to public service. But today, we seek the woman behind the uniform, the leader behind the policy, and the human.
Because tennis was all visibility. Visibility, sunshine, nature, audience, applause, hostility, all those things which came. Hostility, adulation, applause, out of the comfort zone, all those things had grown along with me as a tennis player. I really did a lot for the boys. So I was already leading. So there was an inner calling to be of value, constantly value to myself, and then naturally value to them. That would be how it did.
That's truly inspiring, ma'am. But for all that you said, there's a
What their experience is. People who were traveling with the train, playing competitively, going all together. For me, they were one of the many. I'd grown up with. They hadn't grown up with. I had grown up with people like that. So since I'd grown up, for me, it was being one of them. And the best part is that they had already qualified for the services, reading my book in the general knowledge. So I found that they were pretty overawed. They were very nice, they were very respectful, and an own identity. Whereas I was very, very conscious of my own identity, my own surname, my own name. So I think I exactly knew I would retain my identity, carve out my own way, walk the road I want to walk. Not that somebody else lays the work for me, provides me the security of life. No, I would be the provider. In fact, I grew up to be wanting to be a provider rather than getting provided for. So I think that is what helped. It's the way you grew up. My family was a part of this. It is actually the reason for this.
That's very nice to hear.
Not the school. The schools are rather conservative. During my time, the schools were conservative. My schools wasn't inspiring me to be. It was not my school. But the school ethics was strong. Value system in my convent school in Amritsar Sacred Heart was very strong. The value system is very strong, which I got from full of memories. And memories are positive and memories are negative. Which ones do you want, the negative or the positive?
Negative. What? Negative.
All right, first one. Which negative first or positive?
Negative.
Well, negatives are one tsunami after the other. You see, when you are by yourself, this could happen to any one of you. That you may be in a profession when you're just standing out all the time. Not because you want to compete and leave others behind. But that's what takes you. Your work takes you. Since I believed in giving myself everything, I was there for a purpose. And my purpose in policing was, how can I be an anchor for a common man to say, I can go to her and get justice? How can I get a situation where I can go to the police which she leads, or this police which has this culture where I can. Now the pressure was from a particular source, say register a case of murder against a head constable. Now I'm talking about tsunami, memorable, negative memory. And now the entire force and the people looked up to see. But that was a policy that you patrol and you do with the whatever resources you have.
Yeah.
So was the murder intentional? Was the murder even negligent? Because you've given him only a 303. When we as a government have given him a 303, and 303 is such a blood loser, and is bound to shake. And you have speed breakers, and you have a motorbike. Who's at fault? It's a system at fault, not him. So for me, it was a system at fault, not him. There was even matter went up to the parliament. And there was a pressure on my DIG then to see a case is registered against him for murder and that he's arrested and put behind bars. And I was called to the parliament. I was called to this particular home minister's office and said, call attention motion aa gaya, ye hoga. बहुत सारा हुआ और कहा कि केस रजिस्टर करो. तो I said, सर मैं नहीं कर सकती. उसकी गलती नहीं है. मुझे बता दीजिए उसकी गलती क्या है. पहले तो आप कहते हो कि जगह जगह बैरियर लगाओ, तो बैरियर लगा दिए। आप कहते पेट्रोलिंग करो, पेट्रोलिंग करा दी। आपने कहा वेपन्स लगा के काम करो, वेपन्स दे दिए। आपने तो मुझे 303 दिया है, आप मुझे रिवॉल्वर दे दो ना। आपने मुझे 303 दिया, किसकी जिम्मेवारी है कि मुझे छोटा वेपन देने का? सर मेरी थी जो मैं उसको दूं, बट एज ए डीसीपी वेस्ट आई डोंट हैव अ स्मॉल वेपन टू गिव हिम, आई कैन ओनली गिव हिम 303। तो ये तो पॉलिसी का कसूर है। आप हटा दो 303, रिवॉल्वर्स दे दो, बात दूसरी करेंगे। So there was a huge thing. I did not accede. No case was registered. Nothing happened to my head constable. Nobody wanted to go there, and it was considered as a hellhole posting because there's nothing but hell inside. And 10,000 aggrieved people, sick, mentally sick, revengeful, angry, abusive, addicts, murderers, rapists, terrorists, thieves, gangsters. This was the profile of my 10,000 prisoners. So nobody wanted to go and work with them. And when there was nothing else coming my way, or I was waiting for a posting for several months, and then the auditor saying, I was waiting for a posting, but I had to be paid. So because they couldn't find a posting for me. Because every time they found a posting for me, it's on record, I know I'm on record. Somebody would put in a political. That gate closes so that no entrant further comes. This gate opens, and now that they've been all sanitized or whatever their names, the roll calls have been taken, they go and they enter a jail van.
Okay.
Now I have entered as Inspector General at 9 a.m. the first day of my prison. I enter from here. Okay. So we enter. Right? So we enter the prison. Imagine if you were my constable then. But this is too modern. Imagine we both enter and you are right behind me and I'm walking in and these people are all waiting here. And guess what? The first time see a woman Inspector General in the prison and they're all waiting. Now, what do? I see so many faces, these men. I see them, I say, do I say namaste? Do I say कैसे हैं आप? I neither say कैसे हैं, मुझे पता ही कैसे हैं। नमस्ते क्यों बोलूं? So I said, so I just start to wonder, what do I do? Or I had an option, and the guard would open the door and I'd go. So that means you and I just walk through, cast them aside and go. There were 3 options. I exercised a 4th option. So the three is neither namaste nor kaise hain nor say aise chalo. I walked to them and I said, आप प्रार्थना करते हैं? सारे खड़े हो, प्रार्थना करते हैं? कोई नहीं बोला. They start to suddenly wonder, IG speaking to us, that to a woman's voice for the first time inside us. So I said, आप प्रार्थना करते हैं? And मैंने देखा this guard of mine आपको बोला है आप प्रार्थना करते हैं? तो I looked at this, मैंने उसको कांस्टेबल को तुम चढ़ो, क्यों बोल रहे हो? तो somebody started saying, I said अच्छा प्रार्थना करोगे? See, I changed my प्रार्थना करते हो? Then I said प्रार्थना करोगे? So I said आओ मिलके करो, आंखें बंद, हाथ जोड़ो, मैं आपके साथ प्रार्थना करूंगी. And we started to sing, ऐ मालिक तेरे बंदे हम, ऐसे हो हमारे and we sang the whole song. I knew this song by heart. They also knew it because this is almost the prayer of every prison. And then I walked away. I left them in that feeling of the prayer. Now you might ask me, why did I do this? How did I come? It just spurred on the spur. What is it that they need? That's the sensitivity of leadership. Leadership teaches you to be sensitive and to get intuitively what is the situation. It's not in the book. So remember, you are all going to be leaders. You have to be very intuitive. You never know, nothing may be written in the book, but you got to sense it. You got to sense it with your heart. Heart, that's called the high emotional quotient and a spiritual quotient. Both emotional quotient and the spiritual quotient is very vital to leadership. That is what happened. And after that, I left. I went out and what did I say? My first communication was settled. They now knew here is a person who's come, but she's talking about reform. She's talking about inner reform. She's talking of transformation. She's not talking, क्या crime किया तुमने? आया इधर, अब मैं तुम्हें बताऊंगी, अरे अब सबक सिखाऊंगी, अब आया ना तो जेल में, मैं पुलिस ऑफिसर हूँ, मुझे पता तुझे क्या करना है. I never did that. I just said प्रार्थना करते. Sure enough, every evening the prison had a प्रार्थना. I was assembled with the 2,000 gatherings of Air Malik Tere Bande. Every month, 2 years I spent in the prison. Not an evening I missed saying this prayer with prisoners. The easy time. Read the book Fearless Governance. You will read about them amazingly. You read about how they were selling away Pondicherry. Pondicherry was on sale by some of them, and it's written in the book, so I'm not saying it for the first time. And none of them have taken me to the courts because I've said it with evidence. And I'm an evidence-driven person. And whatever I do and write and say, I do say. I have a habit of documentation. A very powerful habit. That's a very important, valuable habit if you can take away from me. I have a documentation from my first day as a national junior champion of 16-year-old news clipping till now. I have retained my whole library, and fortunately for me, it went to digitization and it's all digital now. So I have a very good documentation. So whatever I did as Lieutenant Governor, it was getting documented very carefully. So when I decided to finally write the book, I had entire documents of my correspondence with these honorable politicians, honorable ministers. How dishonorable were they? And when I say dishonorable, it's evidence on them. They were buying up people's lands who were senior citizens, French who'd gone to Paris, not coming back for their farmland. So they would call up a cop and say, "Ye zameen ko, make an entry, and now see this is ours, this is yours. So take the help of the police and get it sold." So all this was happening plentifully.